So we're bringing in an expert here to kind of lay out sort of the legal foundation of what's happened and what will happen. We have former prosecutor Gwendolyn Lindsay-Jackson joining us to kind of explain where things stand and what happens next. And I want to just start by asking you this. Obviously, this is a blow to the prosecution, but how much trouble are they in? I mean, William Porter, the first of 6 to go on trial. So are they in trouble now or no?
Well, I would say that it is a setback, but it's a minor setback. You have to remember that the other officers, they're going to be tried completely separately. They're going to get a completely different jury. So, you know, I would not completely give up if I were the prosecution.
Okay.
Not at all.
But you don't think the fact that this jury could not, come to a decision on any of these charges? I mean, William Porter, charged with obviously involuntary manslaughter, second-degree assault, reckless endangerment, misconduct, they couldn't agree on anything.
Well, I don't really think that that's going to be something to just spoil the convictions for future convictions for the other officers, because you have to understand that what this officer did, he was involved with one stop. The other officers physically put their hands on him. They basically threw him headfirst into the van. You had an illegal detention. This officer's conduct is completely separate from the others. You have to look at it that way in that capsule. And I think that the jurors probably didn't understand what misconduct in office was.
So you obviously,
really do.
You don't think they actually acted correctly. You don't think they understood everything. Are you surprised at all by the fact that the judge allowed a mistrial after, what, 16 hours of deliberation? Because my understanding is a lot of times they'll say, okay, the judge will say, go back again, go back a third, go back a fourth time before they actually throw out the whole case.
Well, I would say that in this particular case that the judge probably really did not have any options. We don't know what went on because that's, all that information is sealed. But I'm not surprised if they did not come to a unanimous decision. They had to declare a mistrial.
Okay.
But he's going to be tried again. I really think so.
Well, of course,
and I think he should.
The meeting is happening today, and we'll find out for sure what will happen. The next trial set for January 6th. Craig was talking about this. Officer Cesar Goodson Jr., the driver of the van. So is that case impacted at all by what happened here or no?
Well, it's impacted from a timing standpoint because remember, Porter's supposed to be a material witness. They can't force him to testify in January if there's still charges lingering out there. Hasn't been acquitted, remember, and he hasn't been convicted, and you can't compel him to testify. It's only going to push the other officers' trial back. You have to take care of Porter first.
Let me ask you one question here quickly as a former prosecutor.
Yes. Military.
As a military prosecutor, you've obviously, you've prosecuted military officers before, I'm assuming. Is there, from a jury standpoint, I know legally the standard is the same for everybody, but is there a higher standard for a lot of jurors to convict a police officer? Do they feel like, I just need a little bit more than for a regular person on the street? Unfortunately,
politically, I believe that is certainly in play here. No one wants to really say that a police officer, is a murderer or had committed involuntary manslaughter, so there's a higher bar, which is why the prosecutor has to make it very clear that what these officers did was inappropriate. And you got to remember, Freddie Gray didn't do anything wrong. He was just, the knife that they said that he had was a legal knife. So here you have somebody that was yanked off the street, didn't do anything wrong, thrown headfirst in the van, and he was given a rough ride.
Well, I can see you're very passionate about this case. A lot of people are. They're on the streets peacefully, but they're on the streets quite angry about what went down. Gwendolyn Lindsay-Jackson, thank you so much for coming in and kind of shedding some more light on the legal process, kind of behind the scenes, what's happening here. Both sides of this case will be meeting with a judge later this morning to set a new trial day, which is expected to happen. We'll have, of course, any developments as they happen right here on PIX 11.